Welcome to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. This week's headlines include new childhood vaccination policies,
as well as rapper Afroman's legal battle, and more. I'm Josie.
And I'm Aaron. Here are all this week's stories.
A federal judge overturned new childhood vaccination policies implemented earlier this year by the U.S. Department of Health Human Services. U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy ruled that federal health officials, under the leadership of the Health and Social Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., had acted unlawfully when they issued new childhood vaccination recommendations in January. Those guidelines reduced the number of childhood vaccinations, which demonstrated vaccination against 11 diseases instead of the 16 diseases recommended under the prior guidelines. The Department of Health and Human Services also downgraded childhood immunization recommendations for other diseases, including rotavirus, influenza, and hepatitis.
The Indiana Department of Natural Resources has established a new permanent permitting system that will allow anglers to harvest invasive carps 24/7. Per the DNR, the invasive species of the carp that the new permit will cover: silver, grass, and black. The permit will also be free to obtain because the DNR believes removing any cost-related inhibitors will help encourage commercial interest in removing the fish from public waters. Under the new permit, anglers will be allowed to use grill nets and seines in some approved locations. Such equipment is typically not authorized for commercial fishing in Indiana.
Venezuela defeats Team USA to win World Baseball Classic. Team Venezuela jumped out to a 2-0 lead thanks to Michael Garcia's sacrifice fly and a Weiler Abreu home run during the World Baseball Classic. Team USA's offense was lifeless, recording just 2 hits over the first 7 innings before Bryce Harper tied the game with a 2-run home run in the 8th. The Venezuelans quickly retook the lead in the top of the 9th, however, thanks to Eugenio Suarez's RBI double before Daniel Palencia closed out the game. This is the second straight time in the U.S. has finished as World Baseball Classic runners-up after losing to Japan in the 2023 final.
It's amazing for Venezuela that this is the first time that they've won the World Baseball Classic, so I think that's an amazing accomplishment from them.
I think that's really good. They jumped back from a loss and they won.
Yeah, so amazing. More than 800 workers were locked out of the BP refinery in Whiting, Indiana. The lockout comes after BP and the workers' union failed to reach a contract agreement. BP released a statement saying that the decision was not made lightly to lock out employees, but the union did not accept the company's contract proposal twice without offering a counter proposal to address any concerns. The company's offer was a 6-year agreement with plans for job restructuring that would affect 20% of employees. They also want to move maintenance, non-core crafts jobs to specialized contractors. The United Steelworkers Union said that the revised contract included limiting the union ability to strike and base wage cuts across positions, ending seniority protections in case of layoffs. BP said that the union must accept their last offer to end the lockout.
U.S. rapper Afroman has defeated 7 sheriff's deputies in a court case after they sued him for releasing songs and videos that mocked them in a raid they carried out on his home. The officers broke down the musician's door in 2022 as part of a drug and kidnapping investigation, but the raid didn't lead to any charges. Afroman, best known for his 2000 hit "Because I Got High," responded by using home security footage and viral videos that ridiculed the deputies. His video for the song "Lemon Pound Cake" was inspired by a deputy apparently eyeing a cake in the kitchen, while another video attributed personal and sexual transgressions to the officers. They sued him for defamation, but a jury has sided with the rapper after a 3-day trial.
That's all we have for this half.
Stay tuned after this for more top stories.
Welcome back. I'm Israel.
And I'm Lucy. Here are some more stories.
Famous actor, martial artist Chuck Norris passed away at age 86 after experiencing a medical emergency just 9 days after his birthday. Chuck became famous in the late 1970s and 80s for his dramatic and action-packed movies. Norris's debut role was in the movie The Wrecking Crew, in which he was Bruce Lee's rival. Bruce Lee worked behind the scenes as an action choreographer, and their fight scene remains among the all-time greatest fight scenes in all of action movie history. Many of his children, including Mike and Eric, have also gone on to be stuntmen, just like their father. Chuck left behind not only an inspiring legacy, but a loving family who will continue to carry on his story.
The Environmental Protection Agency is reviewing the progress of the cleanup work at 9 Superfund sites across Indiana. This year, they will be conducting 5-year reviews of the U.S. smelter and lead refinery in East Chicago, the Lake San, Joe and M&M landfill in Gary, and the American Chemical Service in Griffith. The 5-year review of the 9 National Priorities List Superfund sites are to ensure that the remediation is protecting public health and the environment. Federal law requires these reviews so long as hazardous substances remain on site to ensure that the cleanup is making progress. The EPA also announced that it will be cleaning up 160 residential properties around the Federated Metal Superfund site in Hammond and Whiting.
Environmentalists are calling for a pause on the U.S. Steel air pollution permit at Gary Works. U.S. Steel is planning to invest $350 million to reline blast furnace numbers 14. However, activists are asking for U.S. Steel to provide more information about the modifications to make sure that it complies with state and federal laws. They are also asking for a 60-day review period and at least 2 public hearings in Lake County, so residents can make their voices heard. Spokesman for U.S. Steel stated that Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel are making long-term commitments to Gary Works and the Gary community that include implementing strategic and innovative projects that have meaningful environmental benefits.
Teachers can now apply for a grant to help with the costs of educational field trips to an Indiana state park or state reservoir. The Indiana Natural Resources Foundation is offering grants to promote student learning about fish, forests, wildlife, natural habitats, conservation, and outdoor recreation opportunities at the 24 state parks, 8 state-managed lakes, and 2 state recreation areas. Foundation Director Jody Kress states that the grant gives children an adventure that showcases Indiana's natural and cultural treasures and teaches the importances of protecting them. Grants are available by searching school and group programs online, and they will be awarded for the 2027 school year.
Indiana governor signs its 162nd new state law. The Republican chief executive signed his name to the final batch of laws endorsed by the House and Senate before the meeting closed. He has also allowed Senate Enrolled Act 91 that reauthorized a syringe exchange in 8 counties plagued by intravenous drug abuse. Braun has enacted 405 statutes, allowed one to become law without his signature, and issued 0 vetoes since taking office in January 2025. Some include protecting children from harmful social media posts, revoking CDLs from illegal aliens, addressing the rising cost of utilities, cracking down on illegal immigration, and establishing the framework for a new stadium in Northwest Indiana. Most new laws enacted this year will take effect on July 1st.
That's all the news we have for this week. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Israel. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at ACCtv Hammond.